Spygate, when the Patriots got caught cheating, September 9, 2007. The New England Patriots are filming the New York Jets' defensive coaches from their own sideline. Not highlights, signals. An NFL security official catches them red-handed in the first quarter and confiscates the camera. This wasn't some accident. The Patriots had been stealing opponents' play signals for years, giving them an unfair advantage before every snap. Bill Belichick, the head coach, admitted to the scheme but claimed he misunderstood the rules. His defense was that he thought filming was only illegal if used during that same game, not for later preparation. The NFL fined him $500,000, the largest ever for a coach, stripped the Patriots of their 2008 first-round draft pick, and fined the team $250,000. Fans across the league erupted. 3 Super Bowl victories suddenly looked suspicious. Critics demanded the championships be vacated. The Patriots dynasty had an asterisk, and it still does, but Spygate wasn't even their biggest scandal. Deflategate, Tom Brady and the deflated footballs. January 18, 2015, the AFC Championship game. Patriots destroy the Colts 45-7, but something's off. The footballs feel soft. Too soft. NFL rules require balls to be inflated between 12.5 and 13.5 psi. At halftime, officials test them. 11 of 12 Patriots footballs are underinflated according to initial reports and the league's investigation, though pressure readings varied depending on which gauge was used. Softer balls are easier to grip and throw, especially in cold weather. An investigation points to Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. Text messages show equipment staff calling themselves the Deflater and discussing Brady's preference for softer balls. Brady destroys his cell phone during the investigation. The NFL suspends him for 4 games. Brady fights it in court for over a year, missing the first 4 games of the 2016 season. Some believe he cheated. Others think it's a witch hunt. The science gets debated endlessly. Ideal gas law versus intentional tampering. The scandal divides football. But while Brady fought in court, another player was fighting for something bigger than football. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. August 26, 2016. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick sits during the national anthem before a preseason game. This time, the media notices. He'd actually been sitting since August 14th, but nobody reported it until now. He explains he's protesting police brutality and racial injustice. The backlash is instant and massive. By the 3rd week, Kaepernick changes his approach. After talking with a military veteran, he kneels instead of sits, showing respect while still protesting. Other players join him. The movement spreads across the league. President Trump tweets that players should be fired. Fans burn jerseys. Some call him a hero. Others call him a traitor. The 49ers don't re-sign him after the 2016 season. No other team signs him either, despite his talent. He hasn't played an NFL snap since. In 2019, he settles a collusion lawsuit with the NFL. While officially undisclosed, major outlets report the settlement at less than $10 million. His protest started a national conversation that's still happening today. But player protests weren't the only social issue the NFL faced. The concussion crisis, football's deadly secret. Dr. Bennet Omalu examines the brain of former Steelers center Mike Webster in 2002. Webster died at 50 after years of dementia, depression, and bizarre behavior. Omalu discovers something terrifying. Webster's brain looks like an elderly Alzheimer's patient's. He names the condition chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. It's caused by repeated head trauma, the kind football players experience on every single play. Omalu publishes his findings. The NFL attacks him, demands retractions, and tries to discredit his research. They commission their own studies that conveniently find no link between football and brain damage, but more players die with the same symptoms. Junior Seau, Dave Duerson, Andre Waters, all had CTE. The 2015 movie Concussion exposes the NFL's cover-up to millions. The league finally admits in 2016 that football causes CTE. They settle a lawsuit with former players. The original $765 million proposal in 2013 gets rejected as insufficient. The final settlement approved in 2015 becomes uncapped. The NFL has paid out over $1.2 billion to date. New rules ban helmet-to-helmet hits. Concussion protocols become mandatory, but the damage is done. Parents pull kids from youth football. The sport's future is questioned. Speaking of safety, one hit changed everything. The Bountygate scandal, paying players to injure others. March 2, 2012, the NFL announces the New Orleans Saints ran an illegal bounty program from 2009 to 2011. Players received cash bonuses for injuring opponents. $1,000 for a cart-off, where the player leaves on a stretcher. $1,500 for a knockout, when a player can't return to the game. Defensive coordinator Greg Williams ran the program with 22 to 27 Saints players participating. The pool reached $50,000 in the 2009 playoffs, the same year the Saints won the Super Bowl. Audio leaks of Williams telling players to target specific body parts. "Kill the head and the body will die," he says before a playoff game. Commissioner Roger Goodell drops the hammer. Head coach Sean Payton gets suspended for the entire 2012 season. Williams is banned indefinitely. General manager Mickey Loomis gets 8 games. 4 players get suspended, including linebacker Jonathan Vilma for the full season. The Saints go 7-9 without Payton. Most suspensions get overturned on appeal, but the damage to the team's reputation is permanent. The scandal proves some teams will do anything to win, but some controversial moments happen in just 1 second. The Tuck Rule, the call that changed history. January 19, 2002, AFC Divisional Playoff. Oakland Raiders lead the New England Patriots 13-10 with under 2 minutes left in a blizzard. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady drops back to pass. Raiders cornerback Charles Woodson hits Brady's arm. The ball flies out. Raiders recover. Game over, right? Wrong. Referee Walt Coleman reviews the play and calls it an incomplete pass, not a fumble. He cites the Tuck Rule, an obscure regulation stating that if a quarterback's arm is moving forward when he loses the ball, even if he's pulling it back, it's an incomplete pass. Raiders fans explode. The call looks absolutely wrong. Brady appears to be tucking the ball back when it comes loose. That should be a fumble, but the rule is the rule. Patriots keep possession, drive down the field, kick a field goal to tie, then win in overtime. They go on to win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's dynasty begins. The Raiders actually make the Super Bowl the very next season but lose to Tampa Bay. Then they collapse, missing the playoffs for 13 straight years starting in 2003. The NFL eliminates the Tuck Rule in 2013, essentially admitting it was a terrible rule. But the damage is done. Raiders fans still call it robbery 20 years later. That wasn't the only call that sparked outrage. The Fail Mary, Seattle's impossible touchdown. September 24, 2012. Monday Night Football, Seattle Seahawks trail Green Bay Packers 12-7 with 8 seconds left. Seattle quarterback Russell Wilson throws a Hail Mary into the end zone. Packers safety M.D. Jennings jumps up and clearly intercepts the ball. Seahawks receiver Golden Tate also has his hands on it. Both players come down together. One official signals touchback, Packers ball, game over. The other official signals touchdown, Seahawks win. After a discussion, they rule it a touchdown. The stadium erupts in confusion and anger. Replays show Jennings has possession. The call is objectively wrong, but here's why it happened. The NFL locked out its regular referees over a labor dispute. Replacement refs, pulled from lower college divisions, were working NFL games. They were overwhelmed. This wasn't their first mistake of the season, just the most obvious. The blown call on national television forces the NFL to settle with the regular refs 3 days later. The Seahawks keep the win. The Packers finish 11-5 as the number 3 seed and beat the Vikings 24-10 in the wildcard round before losing in the divisional round. But if they'd won the Seattle game, they would have been 12-4, taking the number 2 seed and first-round bye away from San Francisco. But some controversies happen off the field. Ray Rice and domestic violence. February 15, 2014. Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice and his fiancée, Janae Palmer, get into an altercation at an Atlantic City casino. Security footage shows Rice dragging an unconscious Palmer out of an elevator. The NFL suspends Rice for just 2 games. Public outrage is immediate. 2 games for knocking out your fiancée? Players get more for smoking marijuana. Commissioner Goodell claims he never saw the full video from inside the elevator. Then TMZ releases it. September 8, 2014. The video shows Rice punching Palmer in the face, knocking her out cold. It's brutal and undeniable. The Ravens immediately cut Rice. The NFL suspends him indefinitely. But questions explode. Did the league really not see this video, or did they see it and hope it stayed hidden? An investigation reveals the NFL likely had access, but chose not to watch it. The scandal exposes the league's weak stance on domestic violence. Within weeks, the NFL announces a new policy. First offense, 6 games. Second offense, lifetime ban. Rice never plays again. The incident forces the NFL to confront how it handles player misconduct. Violence wasn't the only crime the NFL mishandled. Michael Vick's dogfighting ring. April 25, 2007. Police execute a search warrant on Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick's property in Virginia. They find 54 pit bulls, a fighting ring, and equipment used in dogfighting. The investigation reveals Vick ran an operation called Bad News Kennels from 2001 to 2007. Dogs fought to the death for gambling. Losing dogs were executed by hanging, drowning, or electrocution. Vick personally killed underperforming dogs. The details are horrific. Federal charges come in July. Vick initially denies everything, but 3 co-defendants flip and testify against him. On August 27th, Vick pleads guilty to conspiracy charges. The NFL suspends him indefinitely. He's sentenced to 23 months in federal prison. The Falcons demand $20 million in bonus money back. Vick loses every endorsement deal. Public hatred is universal. Animal rights groups protest outside courthouses. His career appears finished. But after serving 18 months, Vick signs with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2009. He works with the Humane Society, speaks against animal cruelty, and slowly rebuilds his image. By 2010, he's starting again, even making the Pro Bowl. His comeback remains one of the most controversial in sports history. Some forgive him, others never will. While Vick went to prison, another scandal involved millions of dollars. The New Orleans Saints and Bountygate revisited. The Saints' bounty scandal didn't just expose a team paying for injuries. It revealed how much power Commissioner Roger Goodell had and how willing he was to use it. Saints linebacker Jonathan Vilma's suspension for the entire 2012 season was based on witness statements and circumstantial evidence, not hard proof he paid for injuries. Former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue later vacated all player suspensions, stating Goodell overstepped. The evidence wasn't strong enough. Tagliabue criticized the lack of transparency in Goodell's investigation. This created a huge question. If the commissioner can suspend players without concrete evidence, what's stopping abuse of power? The NFL Players Association fought back, arguing the process violated collective bargaining rights. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, admitted to the bounty system and was reinstated after sitting out 2012. But the controversy damaged how players viewed league discipline. The Saints' 2009 Super Bowl championship remains tainted in many minds, especially for Brett Favre and the Minnesota Vikings, who lost the NFC Championship game that year in a brutal, penalty-filled contest. Money scandals extended beyond player bonuses. Taxpayer-funded stadiums, billionaire owners versus cities. NFL stadiums cost billions, and taxpayers foot most of the bill. Since 1997, public money has funded over $7 billion in NFL stadium construction. Owners worth billions themselves demand cities pay or threaten to relocate. Las Vegas built Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders. Cost $1.9 billion. Public contribution $750 million. That money came from increased hotel taxes, but it's still public funding for a private business. The Raiders owner, Mark Davis, is worth $2.3 billion, but claimed he couldn't afford it alone. Los Angeles got the Rams and Chargers with zero public money, showing private funding is possible. Owner Stan Kroenke paid the entire $5 billion for SoFi Stadium himself, but that's rare. Most owners leverage relocation threats. Build us a stadium or we leave. Cities cave, fearing economic loss and fan outrage. Economists repeatedly prove publicly funded stadiums don't deliver the promised economic benefits. The jobs are temporary. The boost to local business is minimal, but cities keep paying. Why? Politics. Elected officials don't want to be blamed for losing a team, so taxpayers get stuck with the bill while billionaires profit. Location changes created another type of scandal. The Rams leave St. Louis, a city betrayed. January 12, 2016. St. Louis Rams owner Stan Kroenke announces the team is moving to Los Angeles. St. Louis had supported the Rams since 1995. The city built the Edward Jones Dome with $280 million in public money in 1995 to lure the team from Los Angeles. When Kroenke announced the move, the city still owed roughly $144 million in debt on that stadium. They were paying for an empty building. The lease required stadium upgrades, keeping it among the top quarter of NFL venues. When upgrades were needed, the city offered a $124 million renovation. Kroenke rejected it, demanding a new $1 billion stadium. The city couldn't afford it. Kroenke didn't care. He wanted the massive Los Angeles market. He partnered with developers to build a privately funded stadium in LA, now SoFi Stadium. The NFL approved the move 30-2. St. Louis fans felt betrayed. They had filled the dome, supported the team through losing seasons, and paid taxes for the stadium. The city of St. Louis and St. Louis County sued Kroenke and the NFL for fraud and breach of contract. In November 2021, they settled for $790 million, one of the largest settlements in sports history. The money went back to the city, but it didn't bring the team back. Thousands of fans lost their team because a billionaire wanted more money. Why relocation hurts communities. Gambling, fantasy football, and integrity questions. Major League Baseball banned Pete Rose for gambling. For decades, the NFL took a similarly hard line. Now the NFL partners with gambling companies. September 2018, the Supreme Court overturns the federal ban on sports betting. States can now legalize it. The NFL immediately partners with Caesars, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Gambling ads flood broadcasts. Bet on the game. Commercials run during family viewing hours. The league earns billions from gambling revenue. But this creates integrity concerns. What happens when players have inside information? In 2022, Falcons receiver Calvin Ridley gets suspended for an entire season for betting on games while away from the team. In 2023, over 10 more players face gambling suspensions, including Lions and Colts players like Jameson Williams and Isaiah Rodgers, though some suspensions get reduced when the NFL revises its policy mid-season. The rules are strict. No player, coach, or staff can bet on NFL games, period. But enforcement is inconsistent. Fantasy football complicates things further. Launched in the 1990s, it's now a multi-billion-dollar industry. Fans draft players and score points based on real performance. It's technically gambling. The NFL promotes it heavily because it keeps fans watching every game, boosting ratings. Yet daily fantasy sports, where money is won or lost weekly, operate in legal gray areas. Critics argue the NFL can't condemn gambling while profiting from it. Fans wonder if games are influenced when billions are bet. The league insists its integrity department monitors everything. But trust is fragile, and the most recent scandal is still unfolding. Conclusion: what's next for NFL controversies? The NFL is the most popular league in America, but controversy follows every step. Right now, the league faces ongoing issues. Brain injury lawsuits continue as more retired players are diagnosed with CTE. The original $765 million concussion settlement has since grown to over $1.2 billion in payouts, yet thousands of families argue it still isn't enough to cover the long-term damage. Racial diversity in coaching remains a problem despite the Rooney Rule requiring teams to interview minority candidates. While 53.5% of NFL players are black, only about 22% to 25% of head coaches are black. The 2024 season hit a record high of 9 minority head coaches out of 32 teams, but hiring practices are scrutinized every cycle. Tanking accusations emerge every season when teams intentionally lose to secure better draft picks, undermining competitive integrity. The Washington Commanders' workplace misconduct investigation revealed toxic culture and financial improprieties, forcing owner Dan Snyder to sell the team in 2023. The Deshaun Watson case raised questions about how the NFL handles sexual misconduct after Watson faced 24 civil lawsuits and received just an 11-game suspension. Sunday Ticket's antitrust lawsuit threatens the NFL's broadcasting model, potentially forcing teams to negotiate TV rights individually. Every controversy changes how the league operates, from player safety to off-field conduct to business practices. The game we love carries problems we can't ignore. The NFL will keep making headlines, some deserved, some not. But one thing's certain, controversy isn't going anywhere.